Hi, in this series I'm going to be making all the Miitopia food as object show assets. As you can see, I already started with food number 1, which is Devil's Food Cake, and now I'm moving on to the rare and very rare variants. Now what I really like about the rares is that a lot of them are just slight variations of the original, and in the case of this rare Devil's Food Cake, all I really have to do is change the color a little bit, so it's a nice time saver. Finished the rare Devil's Food Cake, and now I'm going to be moving on to the very rare version. And I'm going to skip ahead a little bit just because I'm doing the exact same thing I just did. Okay, so now moving on to the frosting. This part was pretty fun. I used the brush tool, which you usually don't use for object show assets, but I feel like it's the best fit for something like this. All I'm doing here is trying to make it look globbier and have it like hang off the edges like it does in the picture. So I'm just doing some slight adjustments to the drawing. Now I'm doing that extra bit of frosting on the plate here, and you'll notice that I'm just going to kind of leave it how it is. I'm not going to try to shade it or anything, because it already looks really good. I feel like if I were to shade it, it would just kind of ruin the effect. So those are done, and now moving on to the warming soup. I already had a clear idea in my head of what I wanted to do, so I started making a side view of the bowl. For a lot of these, they're going to be pretty tricky, so I'll probably outline the original image, but for this I didn't have to. So for patterns, I feel like the best way to go about it is make a new layer and put the patterns on there, and then paste them onto the old layer. But what I did wrong here was I got rid of those lines, so it's just shapes interacting with the line tool, and it makes this weird thing you can see I'm trying to deal with here. So for the vegetables sticking out of the top of the bowl, I just made one cube, and then I just reused it for all of them and changed the color and size. Remember that it's not a crime to reuse things. You should do it as much as possible, because it saves you time. So now I'm doing Doggy Donuts, and the reason that Devil's Food Cake is there is so that I can make sure it's the same size, because you want to make sure all your objects are scaled proportionally to each other, and if they're not, it's going to be really annoying to do that once they're all done. I had a lot of trouble with this paw print here. The first thing I did wrong is I tried to draw it the way it looks in the picture, but what I should have done is draw it normally and then scale it to fit the perspective. Then my next problem was trying to make it look like it was made of flour. I tried this weird blobby thing at first, like I did on the dough shading, but I didn't like that, so then I tried a whole bunch of gradients until I finally figured out which one looked the best, but it took me way too long. Luckily, the rare variant isn't much harder this time around. I just have to make an ear and the weird scrunched dog face. It still took me a while though. Hopefully it doesn't take me this long to do little things as the series goes on. And now I'm doing the very rare version, which is the exact same as the rare version except its eyes are open and its mouth is down a little. I really like this version because it looks like Ted. Okay, the last one I'm doing in this video is the Elven Potion, and I'm really happy with how this came out, so I hope you like it too. When you have a symmetrical object like this bottle here, don't bother making both sides, just make one and then copy and paste it and flip it. Then just connect the lines and you've just saved yourself half the time it would have taken to make that object. Just warning you, the footage here got really laggy, so I sped it up a ton. I guess my computer just got tired of recording. So now I'm doing what I did earlier for the warming suit pattern, but this time I'm doing it the right way, and it came out so good. If your asset's ever looking a little bland, you should try giving it a pattern, because it gives it so much more personality. I wasn't too sure how to shade the opening to this bottle here, so I just tried matching the shape of its outline. I feel like that's always your best bet if you don't know how to shade something. I'm almost done with this Elven Potion, I just have to do the rings now. For rings, do it the same way you do a donut shape. Make a circle and put a smaller version of that circle inside, and then delete it. And there they are, Miitopia Grub 1 through 8 as Object Show assets. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. I don't know how many more I'm gonna make, but we'll see. Bye.